Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's Noble Beer Reviews. Today I have a beer from Imperial Brewing Company out of Asheville, North Carolina. I'm sure many of you know that. Based on other reviews I've done from these guys and just knowing, where this brewery is from. This one is called Griddle. See right there, it is a Imperial Stout. Imperial Espresso Stout. So, this, from what I have been told and from what I've assumed from having this is basically just an amped up Imperial version of Skillet, which is a coffee stout that they do, but it's a little odd only because this is 10%, which is plenty big, it's fine. But Skillet, it's not like it's 5 or 6. Like Skillet's 8%. So this isn't like a completely reformulated beer. I assume it's just the fermentables are just scaled up a little bit and everything. Other than that, I imagine it's not that different. But I would hope that the body's a little bigger because it's a bigger beer. And I will say Skillet does not have the biggest body in the world, but it's good enough for what it is, and it's a really great tasting beer. So that's all I hope for this guy. It doesn't have to be a monster Imperial Stout. I just want it to be good tasting, awesome coffee stout. And also, Skillet is in a pounder 16-ounce can. This guy is only in a 12-ounce can, which I do appreciate that. I just don't like the trend today. Like, the bigger the beer, the bigger the bottle, it seems like. I don't understand why we're putting 15% beers in 750s, but we're putting our Berliner Weisses in 12-ounce cans. Like, if anything, it should be flipped around. Put the bigger beers in the smaller containers, the smaller beers in the bigger containers, whatever. But that's just me. So I do appreciate that this is in a 12 instead of a 16. So actually, I would guess if you did the math, I'm gonna try to do it in my head, but this, if you drank this, it would probably be the equivalent of drinking a Skillet pounder. So if you're just going by can to can, it's equal, which is nice. You got the same variables there. So, it's just very strange to me. Sorry, I don't mean to get off topic, but every once in a while I like to bring up general beer things and not just about the reviews I'm doing. There's just so many breweries that are doing these pounder cans, these 16-ounce cans. Like, you're so used to holding this big can. Hey, stop! Sorry, my dog. You're so used to holding these big cans that, this 12-ounce can, to me, I feel like I'm King Kong. Like, I just hold, the whole thing gets covered up by my hand. It's so weird. Like, this just seems so small to me because I'm so used to all these craft beer cans are all in pounder cans. When you actually just get a regular 12-ounce can, it just seems so small in your hand, That's besides the point. It's just weird. Anyways, I can just stop going on about that and just crack this guy open and see what we got. I can already smell the coffee from here. So as you can see, it pours up a darker brown with about a 1-inch beige head. It did pour a little lighter, like when I was actually pouring it, like a lighter cola color than I was expecting, but it does look fairly dark in the glass. I mean, it's not like a giant, thick Imperial Stout blackness, but it's pretty dark with the beige head, so let's see what we got. I mean, the aroma is spot on, in my opinion, with Skillet. It's a bunch of cold brewed coffee, and it honestly does have that sugary character to it too, which I always, attribute to the donut character. Maybe I know there's not donuts actually in the beer, but I always somehow I don't know how they make skillet, but to me it literally tastes like they crushed up donuts in coffee. So, and the aroma of this is spot on to skillet. So. Sorry. I just had to bask in this guy for a second. So I will say I don't want to say I'm a hater of Imperial. I think they make good beer, but I do think they're overrated for the most part. I think their saisons are overrated. Their IPAs are a little overrated, at least in the cans that I've gotten. When I've had it on tap, I thought it was great. In general, they're still good, but I guess saying overrated is kind of ridiculous because it's not like people throughout the whole country are seeking them out. But I think locally people just go ape shit over their stuff, and it's good, but I don't think it's like that special. Honestly, to me, the only beer that they make that is that special is Skillet, because it's such like, to me, in this especially. Because Skillet's only 8%, this is 10%, but like these beers are proof that you can have a big stout, not necessarily 14% gigantic booze mess, but a pretty big stout, have a ton of flavor, but not be like super thick and cloying, but still be an awesome stout like that. That's why I love Skillet, and that's why I love this. Let me get back to it. So, I will say it does have a little bit of more body than Skillet, which is good. It makes sense. It should, because it's 2% bigger. It's a little more oily, but for a 10% beer, it's definitely not watery, but it's still thin compared to like big, giant Imperial stouts, which to me is fine. Like, it always seems to, like, the way I take this beer and the way I take Skillet is like they're literally trying to replicate alcoholic coffee, and coffee is not a big, thick drink. It's not. So if they're really trying to replicate alcoholic coffee, like, they did this perfectly, and that's my thought when I drink this beer. It's alcoholic coffee. It's not some gigantic Imperial stout that has coffee beans in it. Like, to me, this is supposed to be like alcoholic coffee, and that I think they absolutely nailed it. So I will say this is less sweet, a little less sugary and sticky than Skillet is, which I appreciate the difference between the two. So Skillet makes more sense because it's called Skillet Donut Stout. So really, like, that glazed character that I get from Skillet, I don't get in this, but this doesn't claim to have it. And it just says it's a bigger version of that, but if you take away, if it doesn't say that it has that Skillet, those glazed donut character to it, I think the description is perfect. I mean, it has all of the awesome coffee character that Skillet has, but not that donut sweetness, and it's just a bigger beer in general. It's a little thicker, but still not super thick, like I said. A little more alcohol kick, of course, it's 2% bigger. But it's just great. Like, I don't know that it's the best coffee Imperial stout I've had. It's probably not in total, but as far as the most drinkable one that I, could just sit there and drink, like, it's definitely number one. this guy in that realm, that's actually a little scary because I mean I could drink this like it is cold brewed coffee and not really think anything of it. Like that's how drinkable this stuff is. Like, oh, cold brewed coffee. Okay, whatever. I honestly wouldn't. Like, the alcohol in this is so minimal because of the rich coffee flavor that I don't know other than feeling it physically. Like, if someone gave this to me in a cup, says, here's some cold brewed coffee, it's homemade, whatever, like fancy beans, that kind of stuff. Not McDonald's coffee, whatever. They gave it to me and I drank it, and it was, well, I mean, I guess the only one weird thing is it's carbonated, but if you let this settle and it wasn't carbonated, I would believe that it was just cold brewed coffee. Like, the alcohol is that well hidden. That's the same as Skillet. I mean, it's 10% cold brewed coffee. Like, that's what it is to me. Really, really good stuff. You know, so most of the time I complain about that the beer gets left behind in these flavoring things, but this one, I don't know. I just think if you read the description and you understand how Skillet's made, like this, the intent for this is just to be like a big coffee beer. It's a stout because it's a stout, but it's just a big coffee beer, and it's fantastic. I love it. So I think it's pretty obvious from what I've been saying, but on my scale of buy, drink, dump, this is absolutely buy. I know the Skillet they make 2 or 3 times. This one's only made once a year. I think it's gone at most places, which is unfortunate. I need to look around if I'm at other bottle shops soon to see if there's some sitting around somewhere, because I really wish I bought more. I only got a 4-pack of this guy, and it's really, really fantastic. So yeah, I don't really think there's anything else I can say about this beer. It's really, really great. So please like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.